Hey, what's up, stream keepers, and welcome back to my channel. So, in today's episode, I wanted to take this opportunity to actually talk to you guys about the stream life balance. So, in essence, it's actually about the stream hobby and how you actually manage your time, so you will be able to really fully enjoy the entire hobby. And one of the trigger points or one of the reasons that I actually wanted to do this video is because I have, in some of the cases, I have seen, people giving up the entire hobby just because they say that, they don't have time for it. And today I would like to, use this opportunity to showcase somebody in the stream hobby that actually, keeps an open mind, and then he actually keep improving and progressing along the way, and that will help in terms of time management and of course the amount of effort that you actually use in terms of that time for the stream hobby. So before we dive right into the topic today, I actually wanted to give two shout outs to two guys. One is actually Depak, and the other one is Driftwood Aqua. So both of them actually sent me very very encouraging notes in terms of the stream hobby. And Driftwood Aqua actually mentioned that uh, the videos that actually I'm actually putting out actually has a lot more depth in terms of the stream hobby, a lot of more, in his words, higher level kind of information that's being shared in terms of the stream hobby. And then Deepak is actually a person, a breeder in Singapore. So I didn't get to know him. I didn't even know that he's actually located in Singapore. And he have sent me a very long note about, sincerely appreciating the content that I have put so far and sharing all this information on online. So thank you guys, and thanks for the encouragement. So today's topic regarding the stream life balance, about time management and all that. I just wanted to use this opportunity to showcase Jokkes Shrimp. He's actually based in Finland, and we have been communicating for the last few years, and he has always been very open-minded in terms of trying new things, and of course he is also very determined and motivated to actually try to improve his stream breeding hobby. And we understand that in parts of Europe, the hobby has not been really very advanced at this stage. However, he actually takes the steps to actually improve himself and improve the setup as well. So when we were discussing about, when I was just sharing about the automatic or semi-automatic draining and filling of the stream tanks during water change, that kind of like triggered him as well. And because when you have one or two tanks, it is fairly easy to do a water change, right? You just take a scoop, you just scoop it out on a bucket or something, and then you just pour it in your garden, or you pour it into your plants, your potted plants, and then you just fill it back with water. However, as you start to scale up into the stream hobby, and when you have 40 tanks, 50 tanks, when we get to 100 tanks, are you going to go through that motion again? Or how are you going to improve the entire end-to-end process without disturbing, or without having to engage in more, like for example, if you want to drill a tank that is already filled with water, with a hole in a tank just to do the drainage, that will take a lot of time and effort in terms of that. So we were just sharing, and then he adopted. I didn't know about this, so he started adopting that, that RO tube discharge, and then also feeding it back in a semi-automatic way using gravity, which is being shared in one of my videos. And you can see, in some of the pictures that I'll put it up here, you can actually see that he has done a fantastic job in terms of the inputs and the outputs. So all in all, what he's actually trying to do is actually to streamline his process, and actually save a lot of his time and of course effort, because I realized that in European countries and a lot of these northern hemisphere countries, you guys actually used a lid to cover the tank to prevent massive evaporation. So for example, for my case, I don't really cover my tanks because the evaporation rate is not that high compared to maybe in your country. So when you have lids covered up, then every time you have to do a water change, you have to remove the lid, or you have to slide the lid open and then you have to remove it. However, with this method, you actually just leave a small little gap in between the tank and the lid, and where you put the RO tube in there, and that actually acts as an in and out for water change. So in essence, when you hit 70 tanks, 100 tanks, uh, I think it will then be good in terms of the methodology, the process, and streamlining it to ensure that you are actually using less time in doing all these water changes. Because at the end of the day, a water change done in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 1 hour, the results is going to be the same. So why not just try to streamline this process to ensure that you guys actually have a lot more time, you buy a lot more time back in that way. So as I have been communicating with him, and then he found that in terms of effort wise, it is now very simple, and it had actually made him so-called uh, very lazy trying to do a water change using the old method that he does. So as you can see, as we start to progress on to the hobby, there is always a way to actually try to improve a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and along the way, you get to an optimum level where you actually start to realize that actually I do have time for the stream hobby, right? Rather than having to say that I because of my work, because of family, because of this and that, I don't have time to actually have the stream hobby, because I need to do water change, I need to feed them, so all of this actually, if we break it down into smaller chunks of information, and then we can actually realize that you can actually still breed very good streams, high grade streams, even if let's say you are very busy, and even if you uh, are able to actually commit about maybe an hour a week. It's not even a day, an hour a week. If you are able to commit about an hour a week for your stream hobby, definitely you'll be able to even breed high grade streams. And one of the reasons behind it is that if let's say you're going to do a water change once a week, and if you're going to take like 10 minutes, and then then you got 15 more minutes to actually take a look at your streams and all that. So all in all, what I'm trying to actually share is that this stream life balance thing. For example, you have work, you have family, you have your streams. You don't really need to. It doesn't mean that you have to have either of it, or only when you really have time then you are able to actually enjoy the stream hobby. Actually, it doesn't mean that it is either or. So actually, they can always coexist together, as long as you are in a pursuit to actually progress on, to actually find that the simplicity of the process, so that you are able to have more time in terms of the stream hobby. So one of them is actually water change, that actually takes up the most time. And actually, I was still discussing with him, and then we were just talking about um, what will happen if, let's say, just if you guys want to have any comments in this is a question, so if you guys want to have any comments on the on it, or I would like to hear your thoughts in terms of this. And especially for those countries that where your water is fairly clean, and you have gone through the RO system, and you have actually put it inside your tank. I'm sure you guys have thought about, if let's say you're gonna drain the water back, you're gonna drain the water out and then discharge it, or you're gonna use it to pour into your garden, or use it for irrigation and all that. I think that's fine. But one of the thoughts that actually we were thinking about is that what happens if we reuse our tank water, like for example, if we remove the tank water and then we go through a normal micron filter, and after that go into 2 units of DI. The results, I believe, will still be TDS of 0. does it mean that we can actually recirculate fresh water? Because for saltwater tanks, I understand, in marine tanks we don't recirculate it. However, for freshwater tank, the first time you go through that membrane, the first time you go through the RO system, the water that you have used, you remineralize it and in your tank. And after that, when you do your water change, the discharge of the water, if it goes back into the DI system, just a DI system this time around, maybe one carbon and two DI, and the results will be TDS of 0. Probably there will still be traces of nitrate in there. However, if let's say we're going to do an alternate week, like for example, 1 week we do a recirculation of the tank water through the DI system, and then 1 week you do a regular water change. How much water can you actually save during this period of time when you do a recirculation? Of course, you have one tank, two tank, it doesn't have a big impact, but however, if you multiply that to 100 tanks, it actually matters a lot. If you're gonna take 100 tanks and if you do 5 liters of water change, that's 500 liters of water saved during a week. So 500 liters of water is a lot. You can actually recirculate them. So I would like to hear your comments below. Do you think that this is achievable? And what are some of the setbacks that could happen, or some of the challenges that you guys think that may not work? However, from a theoretical standpoint, what we think that is what I personally think is, as long as your water source is clean from the start, and if you're gonna use the remineralizer and all that, by discharging the water and going through all this micron filtration, and then after that going through one carbon and two DI, it will then result in TDS of 0. So when we have TDS 0, we can recirculate it back into the tank as so-called fresh water and then remineralize it again. So what in essence is actually recirculating the used tank water and then clean it back into the system. I think this whole idea actually we were thinking about is actually thought through, how reservoirs actually go through that entire RO system, and then it becomes safe for us to actually drink. So part of this wastewater actually gets discharged, and then of course some of this is being recirculated back into our water channels as well. So this is some of the things that we were just thinking about. I understand that in marine maybe it's not feasible because it's salt water. However, for fresh water, can this be a possible way to actually save a lot of water in that sense? So tell us in the comments below. I will really appreciate some of the thoughts about it. And then as we continue along with this journey of time management and of course the stream life balance, just remember that this is not a exclusive like either or. It can actually coexist together. And even if, let's say for example, when we are out on vacation or anywhere, a week or two, don't let this entire hobby drag you down. So you can actually be very you try to find that optimum level where you actually controls the hobby rather than the hobby actually controls your life. So I think this is the same for life as well. If you don't manage your time, then time will actually manage you. So it is very important, at least for me, where I want to make sure that the entire process is being set up in such a way that I can still enjoy my hobby and of course enjoy my life as well, as the hobby is just part of my life. And then you'll be able to actually enjoy it far much better than having to think about oh, what am I going to do if, let's say, if I'm going to travel abroad for a week or two, and then will my streams die and things like that. So feeding of streams, having the calyx ball, having the lupao in the tank, that is also one of the reasons and one of the ways to actually lengthen the feeding process. And of course this will actually also help the entire hobby as well, because then you can actually travel very freely in that sense. So that's something I would really like to share. And of course, if any of you guys have any good ideas, good suggestions in terms of time saving, or even resource saving as well, I think that will actually bring a lot of benefit to the hobby, not just for yourself but for the entire community as well. And I think one of the reasons for doing this is because as we progress on into the hobby, we need to understand that as we start to scale up, the amount of resources that we actually waste is a lot, and we really want to try to save as much of these resources as possible. And so there's also a way to actually enjoy the hobby a lot more in that sense. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you like my video, please remember to give a thumbs up, and of course comments in the section below. And if you are new to this channel, please remember to subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching, and peace out.